first organizer that I would like to talk about, and is one of my favorites, is the freezer organizer containers I have. They're dishwasher safe. I have dropped them quite a few times and they haven't cracked or anything like that. They're very airtight as well. And when it comes to freezing fresh produce or buying frozen produce, sometimes they come in like these bags that don't last in the freezer. Even if something's come in like a box, like a cardboard box, most of the time it takes up a lot of space in the freezer, and I just prefer to have these organizers, not for the aesthetic purpose, but because it makes my food not get like freezer burnt on them, if you guys know what I'm saying. Like that freezer burnt taste too. It makes the food taste fresh, even though it's frozen. Like I said, I buy frozen green beans, frozen broccoli, sometimes frozen mushrooms. Frozen vegetables and frozen fruit helps a lot with your budget, your grocery budget. So I found these containers, I want to say like 2 years ago, and I did purchase 2 just to try them out, and then I went back to get more like a month later because I realized how beneficial it is for our family when it came to the freezer. So I think right now I own, I think like 5 of them. I gave one away to a family member and they absolutely love it as well. So this is just one of those organizers that I feel like it's not for aesthetic purposes. I know it's not like aesthetically pleasing, but it has a purpose where it stops your food from getting freezer burnt. Again, it's super easy to clean and you're able to fit a lot of food in these containers. Like they are pretty deep and wide, and like I said, they have a nice little lock to them, so it stays fresh for a long time. So when it comes to household cleaners, I like to make my own cleaning products, and I will have a video on that soon. But when it comes to the actual containers for the DIY cleaners, I ended up grabbing 2 amber glass bottles. I went with amber because, not for the aesthetic purposes, I know you guys are gonna hear me say that a lot, but with these like organizing videos, a lot of people do these certain things for aesthetics. Not me. I make sure that I'm going to get use out of this product. I honestly don't care if things look pretty or not in my house, as long as I get use out of it and it has a purpose. So when it comes to the spray bottles, the reason why I went with amber is because, like I said, I DIY the antibacterial spray, and the antibacterial spray that I make has 99% alcohol. It also has peroxide. So with having peroxide and ingredients like that, you don't want the light to ruin the mixture. So that's why I went with amber, just to be a little bit on the safer side with the mixture, make sure it lasts a lot longer and doesn't like die out because of light. That's why peroxide always comes in a black bottle, if you haven't noticed. So I only own 2 basic spray bottles. I highly suggest grabbing amber bottles if you guys are using antibacterial spray. Anything to do with alcohol, peroxide, you don't want the light to ruin these mixtures. Like I said, I only own 2. I keep it very basic in our household. It makes cleaning such a breeze. Also, with having high quality spray bottles, I know not all spray bottles are created equal. I have tried out quite a few junk spray bottles just because they were cheaper, and I had to replace them because either the nozzle didn't spray or it started to leak. It just wasn't worth the hassle with going the cheap route. So the bottles that I do have are a little bit on the pricier side, but they are so worth it. Do not come for me for this one. I feel like everyone is gonna be like, really, Kira? I'm not turning into zero waste. I wish I could, but it is hard for me to be completely zero waste, but I try my best to do my part with creating less waste for the environment. And the one thing that I have learned throughout the years, with the social media, with everything being so aesthetically pleasing, it's like buy, like Amazon, Home Goods, everyone's like in this buying spree, and I'm over here saving my mason jars, or glass jars. I know some people don't like when I say mason jars. Glass jars. For those of you that get aggravated easily with names, the tomato sauce that I grab from Whole Foods, which is amazing and delicious, has no preservatives, nothing like that, and you also get a free jar. So when I'm done with the tomato sauce. I will take the logo off. It's so easy to take off. So I have our cabinet filled with the reused mason jars. I have some with like filled with raisins, quinoa, black lentils, almond shavings, the list goes on and on. I decided to make my life easier when it comes to seasonings. So instead of purchasing those fancy looking seasonings, which I'm not gonna lie, I do like how they look and they're very eye appealing, but I find this method for myself, for someone that cooks every meal from scratch, this method is a lot easier for me, and that is just to pour all of my seasonings in these giant jars and then have like this little wooden spoon. The wooden spoon was free. It came with something else and I just reused it. So that's what I use to grab the seasoning in each little jar, and it works out phenomenal because my seasoning lasts a lot longer. So instead of like having those little jars and constantly filling them up, because let me tell you guys something. When I cook, I use a lot of seasoning. I love when my food is flavorful and not bland. So those little jars, I was constantly like filling up. And ever since I just reused the glass jars, it's like this much of seasoning, and it takes me months to go through them. And dried herbs and just seasonings together, like they don't expire as fast as fresh produce does. So if you're that person that purchases some things that come in glass jars, even when it comes to the jars that you don't want to save the cap to, like some of the glass jars that we grab, whether it's like a vegan mayo and it comes with a plastic top, I will throw the plastic top in the recycle bin and just reuse the jar as a cup. We have like, I think it's like 5 glass jars that are just, they're reused tomato sauce, jam, salsa, and I just clean them, and that's what we have for cups as of right now. It's just so much easier to have that instead of purchasing a whole set. I know one day I would like to have all matching sets of like cups and plates and stuff, but as of right now, with us being very frugal, when people come over, I like that we have more than enough glass cups to go around, all thanks to me reusing the jam jars, the tomato jars, things like that. Even if you don't like the cover part, you can still use it as a cup. I also have one of the glass jars in the refrigerator with garlic cloves, so you can reuse them in so many ways. It's insane. Another simple organizer that I fell in love with, and this is more on the aesthetically pleasing side, but I do want to say that it also falls into the category of like durable, and that is my woven baskets. I think it's called woven or seagrass, one of those. I do own 4 of them. Now, I did redo one of our closets, which I'll talk more about that in another video. So I switched those 2 baskets to my closet, and each of the baskets has a purpose. When we do move, I plan on spreading the baskets out, but I find that these baskets are not only eye appealing, but they are extremely durable, and I grab them every day because I do have my main essentials in some of these baskets, so I'm constantly taking them out, putting them back, and there's no wear and tear on them at all. So I highly suggest these baskets over those like cloth baskets. So not only do these baskets look amazing, but they are pretty durable, and I like how they don't sag down like the cloth baskets that everyone seems to be obsessed with. The cloth baskets, those are like my pet peeves. They sag down over time. They get very like flimsy. Yeah, so if you want to save money and not have something like get ruined really fast, go with a sturdier basket when it comes to storing things instead of the cloth ones. I'm not sure if they have made some cloth baskets not like, you know, flimsy and stuff, but another tip is find a basket that has a cover on it, whether it's for your wires, things like that, because it kind of hides the mess a little bit. I've talked about these before. I'll talk about them one last time. I know you guys are probably sick of me repeating products, but I repeat products because it works and I am a creature of habit. My favorite organizer is non-see-through organizers. So I think right now I own 5. 3 of them I gave to my partner because he desperately needed organizers in the bathroom. And then the other 2 I put under the sink. So we have our dish pods on top and then our reusable sponges on the bottom. It works so well because, like I said before, when it comes to those see-through organizers that everyone's obsessed with online, I don't like to see the mess. So I guess this does fall into somewhat of aesthetically pleasing, but I feel like just adding this touch under your sink or like in your closet of having non-see-through organizers, it makes things look neater and more organized because you don't see the mess inside. I just prefer the non-see-through containers. I think they work phenomenal, and I've had these for quite some time. I feel like it's a little bit easier to clean, but they do have it in white, and I wish they had bigger sizes. That's the only downfall with the ones that I own. This is the only size that they have, unfortunately, but it works for us. Again, we don't really have many products, especially for myself. When it comes to the kitchen and under the sink, I like to keep it very, very simple because I grew up in a household where there was just too many products, and it created a lot of like overwhelmness for myself when it came to like time to clean or time to organize. It's like I didn't want to do it because it was just too much going on. So less is definitely more for myself, and I have gone through quite a few different vibes in this apartment trying to figure out how to decrease the amount of things that we have under the sink in the closet, because those are the areas where it's like out of sight, out of mind. So I'm always trying to look for new ways to not make it look so packed. And the last organizer is something that I have on my wish list. I do not own this just yet, but I will in the future because I do see the benefits of it a lot more than what I own right now. And that is glass storage food containers. I have noticed in the past that I just keep repurchasing and repurchasing the plastic food containers. I own some right now. Yes, they're great, but they stain very, very easily, even though the package says stain resistant. I don't believe it anymore because I cook with turmeric, I cook with tomato sauce, like things that tend to stain plastic, especially turmeric. I cook a lot with that, and when it came to our containers, they are all yellow now, unfortunately, and I have washed them so many times. I've tried so many methods. It's not coming out. You are very limited when it comes to the plastic containers, even though they'll be BPA free, stain resistant. I feel like spending the money on glass storage containers are 10 times better than the plastic ones. No matter how much the plastic ones seem to offer, they're just not as durable and versatile as the glass ones. So the glass storage containers, most of them can go in the oven, most of them can go in the microwave, the fridge, the freezer, the dishwasher. Like, they're very versatile, and they don't stain. I mean, it's glass. I'm not sure if you can stain glass with food. I have never seen glass being stained with, turmeric, tomato sauce, things like that. So I feel like that is my biggest regret when it comes to the kitchen, is purchasing plastic food containers, because it just never works out. I feel like the glass ones are just 10 times easier to have, and like I said, they're versatile, so you can use them in so many different ways. Sometimes you can even use them in the oven. So that is something that I've learned my lesson with, and I will be purchasing in the future because I see the benefits of having glass containers more than the plastic ones, even though they are so much more money. That's why we don't have them right now. But I know that I will get my money's worth in the future. So I will have the ones that I have on my wish list linked down below. I already have them saved, ready to go once when I have the money to buy them. I have looked high and low for containers that have good reviews and that don't shatter right away. So far these are the best ones that I have found. Let me know down below too if you guys have glass food containers. What brand are you using, or where do you get yours? Because I would like to have a variety of like where to shop in the future when I have the money to replace our plastic containers with glass. Also, it is better for your health. I forgot to mention that. Cooking with glass is better for your health than cooking with plastic. Even though some of these plastic containers say, free of this, free of toxins, it's always better to cook with glass. On that note, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will have links down below with everything that I talked about, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.